Hi there. Thanks for stopping into my shop today. Whenever I do a project, I always try to explain it so that even a new turner will know what I'm doing. Even if they don't have enough experience to always make the cuts, at least it'll give them an idea of what's going on. And today's project is a very simple one. Most beginner turners should be able to do this with just a little bit of the basics. It's just a small box. I found a small piece of cherry laying around. Thought I would do this. Simple enough because I didn't even turn the inside of the lid or the box. I just used Forstner bits for that. So for the most part, I think a beginning turner with some of the basics again will be able to tackle this project. So I hope you'll stick around and see how this came to be. Now let's go over to the lathe. Two inches square and 5 inches long. I'm going to use my skew chisel just to take the sharp corners off quickly, and then I'm going to use it with peeling cuts to remove some of the wood. Now you might be wondering why I would use my skew chisel instead of using my spindle roughing gouge to get this round. Well, it's just a matter of practice. I like to practice with different tools. This little lip in here is about 1/16 of an inch deep. This is about 1/8 of an inch wide. So I've drawn the two lines on here. Now let's see if I can match those up. Stopping before the line in there just to see how close I am. Not too far off. All right, it's just right on the edge of fitting there. So now I just want to try to make this edge parallel with the bedways. I think that will be just what I'm looking for. All right, about 2 inches deep. This is not to be a great big storage box or anything, but who knows what I might put in there. I've sanded this cherry to 400 grit. I didn't put any sanding sealer on it or anything else. I'm just going to use an oil finish. And this line is right where I want the top of the box to be. So I'll start turning that with my spindle gouge at 1000 RPM. All right, just going to sand the top of this now. All right, I've got this sanded to 400 grit. Now I want to use this texturing tool and see if I can put a little design on the top there. Now I've only used this once before and I got a few people giving me some good advice. One of those pieces of good advice was don't use this on good wood until I've done some practice on some scrap pieces. Well, if you've watched me for a while, you know I'm not all that bright, so I'm going to do this without having done other practice and just see what I can get here. 500 RPM. happy with that. I'm going to use the corner of a skew chisel just to define the edge of that. Now I'll use some of these shavings just to see if that'll clean it up a little bit. Alright, I think that burnished it nicely. And I'm just going to leave the top like that. Alright, just going to reverse this now and see what I can do about turning the bottom off. I found this block that I had previously tapped and threaded for my spindle, and I've turned this down to 1 1/8 of an inch to match this interior. Now let's see if that's going to run true. Looks good to me. Alright, now the hole I have drilled to 2 inches, so I'm going to make this at 2 1/4 to the bottom. I'm going to bring the tailstock up, use the live center for a little support just until I get some of this turned away. I'm going to be using my 3/8 inch spindle gouge at 2000 RPM. Alright, it's a little bit concave. Just going to drill it for my logo coin and sand this up, and I'll be back. Well, there you go. A fairly simple project. Most fairly new turners should be able to accomplish this, with of course the exception of the top. That little bit of decoration in there, if you don't have a texturing tool, you're not going to be able to do that. But just put a couple of rings on there with the corner of your skew chisel, and it'll look pretty good too. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you'll come back next time. Between now and then, have a great day in your shop and be safe. If you like this, I hope you'll click that like button for me. And if you didn't, click the dislike button. If you have a friend out there who might gain some knowledge from this, click that share button. It'll help my channel out. I appreciate that. And don't forget to subscribe. So have a great day and take care now. Bye-bye.